Hello everybody, and welcome to Heart of a Hobbit here on the official LOTRO Twitch channel, and was it twitch.tv/LOTRO stream, I think, is the channel that you are watching us. It's the channel you are watching. Where are you? Well, welcome and welcome. We are here on the Treebeard server, and it is the first day of the Spring Festival. So I thought I would get us going here and we could do Spring Festival together today. So, well, first of all, hi, I'm Little Redhead, and I play Lord of the Rings Online, which is what you are watching right now. And within Lord of the Rings Online, there's a bunch of different things you could do. You can go out questing and work on, defeating the agents of Sauron or Saruman throughout Middle Earth. You can, there's a whole bunch of various different things you can do. But one of the things that I like to do is some of these fun, lighthearted things that happen throughout the year. And that is the festivals. So the Spring Festival just started today. So what happens usually when a festival starts is you'll get this sort of a pop-up right here that is like, that says, hey, here's a quest. Get ready for, the whatever it is. So in this case, this is the Spring Festival. And I have checked, there's a box in your options where you can choose to any of those auto bestowed quests, like when you're running around and you get into an area and it's a geo triggered, where it's like, oh hey, you're in this area, if you go defeat 8 orcs, that takes care of this quest in this area, that kind of thing. So I already go ahead and have it so that auto bestowed quests like that, or auto quests like that pop up, it automatically accepts those. So then all I have to do is finish them and complete them. So this quest is ready to complete, and it says, ready yourself for travel to the Hedge Maids in the horse fields of Breland to experience this year's spring celebration. Hurry and join the festivities. So when you finish this, you're going to get some legendary item experience if you are a person who gets legendary item experience. And you will also get a map to the Spring Festival. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that. Now, I will mention though that it turns out that there are reports that some people are not getting this quest. It's not happening for them when they log in, because it should come up when you first log in. And so SSG is aware. I saw they tweeted already about it. So they know that that is happening for some people and they're looking into it. So if you have experienced that yourself, don't worry, they're getting to it. Okay. So what you'll get though is what you're missing if you aren't getting that quest is a map to the festival grounds and that little bit of legendary experience. So we can get to the festival without a map, so you're not missing out on the festival. Now the other thing that comes up is there is a remote quest that happens which says the spring seasonal instances have arrived during the Spring Festival. Go and play seasonal spring instances. So that one pops into your quest log. It is auto bestowed and it doesn't go away until the end of the festival. So it does take a space in your quest log. So just be aware of that. Oh, maybe it doesn't. I think maybe there was a thing about how it doesn't take up a space in your quest log. Anyway, so that doesn't go away. It's just there hanging out. Don't worry about that. Now, the other thing is I have heard that some people are saying that the festival instances aren't working right now. And again, SSG is aware of that, I believe, and is I think they're also looking into that one. So here, hang on. Let me see if I can share it with you. I'm just curious if that's a possibility. All right. I tried to share it with you. No? Interesting. Okay, well, who knows? So that definitely means that whoever's not got it can't get it until SSG figures it out. But I'm guessing it'll be up in like a day or two. Even still, you can still do the festival without that quest coming up, so no problem. And indeed, I'm going to show you how. Okay, so let's begin with talking to Wendagrainsville. She's my favorite Wenda. All right, so she has the VIP rewards. And I happen to be a VIP subscriber, and so I am eligible to get these rewards with every single one of my characters. So worth it. So I'm going to, again, sort of same sort of thing where you accept the quest and then you just turn around and finish it. And what she just gave me is this bottle right here, subscriber's jug. So I'm going to chug that, and it lasts for 48 hours. It prevents item wear on combat, crafting, and defeat, and also accelerates your crafting time. So that's pretty neat. And then the other thing I really like is the subscriber town services, which is basically having everybody that you need to talk to in your pocket. So I have access to the shop, my vault, my shared storage, my wardrobe, which will be really handy while we're out and about today. The auction house, my legendary item forge, if I need to reforge my legendary, which I don't, and the relic combination. I don't even know if that's used anymore with the new legendaries, but anyway, okay, so we're gonna just pop that stuff down. So we want to go to the festival grounds in Breeland. So there's a number of different ways you can get there. If you are in a neighborhood, so for example, I have a house here, or if you're in a kinship and your kinship has a house, and you probably have then travel to kinship house as an option. Or maybe you have a premium house. Those are kind of handy too, because you can use that travel skill every 1 minute, regardless of your other travel skills. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, however it is, if you happen to be in a neighborhood, Stable Master, right here, you can talk to him, and under Breeland Festival Grounds, Swift Travel, and that's 1 silver. So that's one way to get there. That is the easiest non-hunter way to get there. Another option, and I'll show you right now, I'll do a hunter travel. So don't use the Stable Master, okay? So we're gonna use my hunter travel, and I'm gonna take us to Bree, because hunter travel takes you to the west gate of Bree. I was gonna say west coast. It takes us to the west gate of Bree. And here we go. So I am streaming an hour earlier for those of you who are in Europe and other places that don't do the whole time switchy thing. My cape, it's a bag of gold. Oh, somebody else. Oh, that's so weird. I don't see them. That's funny. I don't see you now. That's even wilder. Look at that. You're disappeared. That's cool. Anyway, okay, so we're going to just run over here and talk to the Breeland Festival Grounds horse that sent us away. Anyway, so it's like still daylight. So this is like a rare opportunity for you to see me like in daylight. Because I go ahead and I tie my stream to the server time for LOTRO, and that is located in the United States. And so I am following US time, and they went to daylight saving this week, and we in Europe did not. So, because I live in the Netherlands. Okay, once you get to the Breeland Festival Grounds, you want to go over and talk to this fellow over here, Sergeant Tom, the guy standing there, not the person on the mount. And he is going to give you, hopefully, these 3 quests. And I'm going to look over at Affodil's. Yes, okay, good. So I just want to make sure that they have access to the same things that I have access to. So Taste of Spring. So in LOTRO, all the festivals have this kind of pattern where you'll have a festival quest giver, and that person, you want to talk to them every new day that you're running through here. And they're going to be like, hey, go have fun at the festival and go do X number of things that are part of this festival celebration. So in this case, it's 10. Most cases it's 10. There's one where it's 8 or 6. That might be the anniversary festival, but all the rest of them are 10. So this guy says, hey, go participate in 10 Spring Festival activities and then come back to me. Hey, welcome, Kaleri Dancer, Springfest, yes. Audio only, driving to work. No worries, I'll try to describe in vivid detail what we're doing. We are speaking to Sergeant Tom. He looks, he has an appearance of the race of man. He is wearing a, I don't know, I would call this kind of a brownish, grayish tunic that reaches just beyond the hips with an undershirt of a cream color. All right, that may be more description than what you're looking for. Okay, so we are picking up Taste of Spring from Sergeant Tom. So this is our wrapper. And this is the one that says, you know, participate in 10 Spring Festival activities. Now, you don't have to do it all in one day, but you do want to. In general, you want to be able to do that because when you turn it in, you can't pick it up again until the next day. So if you want to max out on what you can do, then yeah, you want to try and do it every day. Clarity Dancer says thanks about the descriptions. I'm very familiar with the festivals and will pull up the Fibro Jedi guide later. Yes, thank you for the reminder. We're going to put a little thing here in the chat that says, here, I got it. And actually, when you get a second, honey, can you turn on my light, please? Whoa, that was exciting. Sorry, I looked over at the screen and their flame is flashing. It's like, yay. Okay, so in the chat there is a link to Fibro Jedi's guide. And Fibro Jedi often will go in and update the guide as soon as after the festival starts. Then they're able to go in and he gets all the new goodies and updates the guide. Now this year there's only, I think, 2 flooring items and 1 cosmetic pet. There's not a new mount, and I don't believe there's any new cosmetics this time. So that's something to be prepared for. So if you have like done Spring Festival every year and you've got every single thing you want out of it, this might be a lighter year for you because if you already have all the mounts and you already have all the pets and you already have everything, you know, there might not be as much there for you to get. Now, that never stops me. I'm always getting everything from my alts if I have the time. So I'm okay with there not being a lot of new stuff because I don't have everything yet. And I'm on the Treebeard server, which just started in end of June last year. So this is our first Spring Festival on this server. So I don't have anything on this server. So I'm very excited to be able to get a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. So anyway, we're going to pick up this Taste of Spring, and when I complete it, which I will do today, I will get some legendary item experience, and I will get 3 spring leaves, and that is the currency of this festival. Okay, so let's see. Okay, now I need to talk to Tom again. And he has 2 more quests for us. So we'll pick up the Splendor of Spring because that's still part of this other thing. So there is something called a Bustling Bloom intro that we don't have yet. So we're going to pick that up here in a moment. But he's going to tell us before that he wants to talk about the Splendor of Spring. And he's like, hey, welcome, my friend. If you're here for the Spring Festival, I recommend you look around and participate in as many of the fun activities around here as you can. If you're not here for the Spring Festival, well, maybe you should be. For those folks who participate in many of our activities, this might be a reward. There just might be a reward in store for you, so get out there. And if you get lost in the hedge maze, just yell for help. There is a maze in this festival. This is the one with the hedge maze. So that's a good one. All right, so we want to pick this up. When we complete this, it will give us some legendary item experience, 500 Figments of Splendor. So this is where you max out on Figments of Splendor is by doing festival stuff. A Scrap of Essence Reclamation Scroll, 5 spring leaves, so that's nice, and a universal optional crafting ingredient. That's the item you use to crit your stuff. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and accept that. But hey, Tom, can you tell me about Bustling Bloom? Haha, there it is. So once you pick up the other one, then Bustling Bloom pops up. And so he says, okay, there are many rewards that await those who participate in the Spring Festival, and for those who celebrate for many days, the rewards are all the grander. So this one is, you get legendary item experience, 400 Figments of Splendor, a Scrap of Essence Reclamation Scroll, a universal optional crafting ingredient, so that's that crit item again, and 1,000 Virtue experience, which is quite nice. That is if you complete the Taste of Spring 4 times. So let's run through this real quick before we get any further. So the Taste of Spring, that's our daily. That's the one where you want to go do 10 things, come back, tell him you did it, he's going to give you stuff. When you do Taste of Spring, here we go, 4 times, so 4 different days, once you've done that, that will complete the Bustling Bloom intro. You're going to get that whole laundry list of goodies there. By completing Bustling Bloom intro, that completes the Splendor of Spring. It's like 2 quests in one. I'm not sure why they do it like that. It's rather funny. Because that finishes the Bustling Bloom intro. But then you're going to get another one that's like complete the Bustling Bloom. Let's see, what does it say? It says there's 12 days worth of a Bustling Bloom and a Taste of Spring participation quests. So because this one is 4 days, and they said 12, so 12 divided by 4 is 3. So that says to me that they're in groups of 3. So there'll be a Bustling Bloom intro, probably a Bustling Bloom intermediate, and a Bustling Bloom final, probably something like that. Some of the festivals have 3 of those kind of umbrella wrappers, and some of them have 4. I think they've been trying to make things a little bit shorter. Like they reduced, which one was it? Maybe Yule Fest from like 20 days of needing to do things in order to finish the wrappers to 16, or from 16 to 12. But they've been trying to make it a little bit easier, I think, to complete quest stuff with the festivals. Oh, for those of you who are on the visual, I have my Deco de Miu mug here with me today. If you are not familiar with these folks, this is the website where they put all of the housing items that you can acquire in the game. So whether it's through a festival barterer or a quartermaster or crafted, however you can get it, they have it on their website, which is pretty dang cool. They'll put a couple of pictures so you can kind of get a good idea of like how it would look maybe in your house as well. So that's pretty neat. Okay, so we have looked at that. Now Tom has one more thing he wants to tell me about, and that's the seasonal instances, and that is the Coins of Naruhel. So this is related to the festival instances, which, like I said, there's some reports that they're not working right now, so we might not do any festival instances today, and that's fine. We'll probably do festival instances then next week, and that's totally fine, because normally what I end up doing on the first day of Spring Festival, or festival on stream, is to kind of show you the basic wrapper stuff, and we end up doing festival instances the next time. So that's fine for me for showing you on stream anyway. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up. And this is the Coins of Naruhel. So what he has said is enjoying the Spring Festival? Say, if you're feeling brave, I've got a job you would be perfect for. Oh, can you put in the Deco de Miu link in the chat? Thank you. He says, one day I was enjoying a meal and a drink at the Prancing Pony, and I overheard a minstrel spinning some tales. He told the story of a corrupted spring that lies deep within the Garth Agarwyn, a fortress within the Lone Lands. That's interesting. I never would, the way they say it, the Garth Agarwyn. I thought it was Garth Agarwyn was like a location, but the Garth Agarwyn is the name of the fortress, I guess. So that's really interesting. Learned something new today. All right, so in the Garth Agarwyn, a fortress within the Lone Lands. Yeah, I've been there. I don't like it. It is said that a water maid by the name of Naruhel, or Naruhel, resides deep within and has fallen due to blood spilled in her waters during the wars between Angmar and the North Kingdom. So I love how they bring in a bit of old LOTRO or Lord of the Rings lore here that you don't necessarily see, played out in Lord of the Rings at that time, but it's history that plays into a bit of why things are the way they are. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so within the swamp, they say, he says, there are a series of gold coins that were given as a gift to the River Maiden. Sadly, these coins, much like the creature herself, have become darkened by the blood throughout the area. As hope springs eternal, our hope is that you could cleanse this creature of the taint, infecting the surrounding lands. And if you bring me the coins that bear her plight as proof of these deeds, I will reward you for your efforts. And he ain't kidding about the rewards. Legendary item experience, definitely cool. But then we get a tracery token incomparable, an enhancement rune, incomparable, an enhancement rune, rare, and that has the purple color on it, 400 Figments of Splendor, and 2,000 Virtue Experience. So that is collect 7 coins from Naruhel, and I'm pretty sure you can only get 1 per day. So that basically means run that instance 7 times successfully during the festival. And if I recall correctly, you can only get those coins if you run the instance within a certain number of levels within your levels. I think you can't go more than 7 or 8. So I'm level 60. So I think I couldn't go any lower than like 53 or 52 and still get those coins. So that's something to keep in mind if you decide to do that. Oh, and well, oh, that's true. You might have to run it at cap, after I was just saying, because that was the case with Storvagun.
Oh, you have to go to tier 3.
And, or tier 3. Yeah, it probably says in the quest. I didn't actually look at the quest. That's not it. Detour Beignet. Here it is. Let's take a look. Let's see what it says. Let's see. Okay, yes, here we go. Bloody gold coins can be earned by defeating Naruhel once per day, okay, during the Spring Festival in Boss from the Vaults in Naruhel. This quest can only be advanced on tier 3 of Boss from the Vaults. In addition, this quest can only be completed once per Spring Festival. Okay, so yes, so when we go to do it, it will be a tier 3 sort of thing. That's good to know. Let's see. So if you decide to do a festival, the instances, so I was just going to show you how to get to it. So you know on your bar down at the bottom, at the far left side of it, there is a little tick mark. And when you click on that, it brings up a menu. And I know part of the menu is hidden behind my face here. But it brings up that menu. So that's one way to get there. And one of the options kind of towards the bottom is the instance finder. There's also a shortcut to it. What's the shortcut? Control J. So that's also another way to get there. Okay, so this is the instance finder. Yes, thank you, system menu. I don't need you anymore. Okay. I'm just going to collapse that because it makes it so much easier for me to find these. And so you'll see there's one category here called seasonal, and we are in spring. And yes, I note that these are grayed out. So just so you know, when it's when you're ready to do these, when this is available, the Springs Bees Big Business is kind of more lighthearted. It's got a cute little storyline. You're going out, you're helping bees and doing stuff. And that gives you the festivity coins that you want to collect to be able to go buy certain things. And then you have the Boss from the Vaults, and that is only available for characters that are level 50 and above. So if you're below level 50, you won't see the Boss from the Vaults when you go to check the instance finder. So it still exists, it's just not there for you because you're not high enough level yet because, you know, big scary things. Okay, so before it says, the wiki says Gartha Garwin is Sindarin for Fortress of the Blood Maid. So I guess that's Fortress of the Blood Maid to you. The Fortress of the Blood Maid to you. Thank you. And yes, the little menu on the far bottom left before it says, I call that the start menu or the carrot menu. Yes, it is a carrot menu, but because I'm using a UI skin, it doesn't look like a carrot. Although that would be hilarious because it's a Hobbit menu that I'm using. If it looked like a carrot, you know, crunch, crunch, carrot, that'd be perfect. That would be hilarious. Okay. So it looks like people can get into the Red Maid instance if maybe they got that. I'm thinking there's a correlation between people who didn't get that pop-up quest and people who can't get into the instance. So that's interesting. I got the pop-up quest on all of my characters, so that's not a problem for me. But it is a problem for Affodil. And I go in with Affodil for most things. So we will just put that off for now. Okay, so what do we want to do? There's a whole bunch of options. Oh, right, thank you. The In League and the Ale Association are active because it is a festival. Hey, buds. So over here you've got your Ale Association Tavern Keep and your In-League Tavern Keep. So if you have joined the In-League or the Ale Association, or both, as some of us have, you can talk to the guy. So like here, the In-League Tavern Keep has all these different drinks, quests, where basically you go and you deliver a drink to an In-League member. But the Ale Association has kind of got some tricks up their sleeve, and so they have quests that are very similar but not exactly the same. So instead of like a bit of red, he has a bit of white. Instead of quite a pickle from the In-League, this guy has quite a tickle for the Ale Association. Now, cool thing about In-League is that when you want to go deliver a drink to them, you can both pick up the quest from the person who wants the drink and then turn it right back into them right away. You don't have to get the quest from the In-League guy in order to go do it. But the Ale Association quests, you do have to pick those up before you go to the person who's the member of the Ale Association who wants the drink. So what some of us do is you can double dip. Pretty much. So what you can do is you can go pick up all of those quests from the Ale Association guy. You have an hour timer on each one of them. And so then you just basically go beforehand, you go and pick up all the drinks that the In-League guys are going to want. And then you pick up all the quests from the Ale Association guy. And then you just go to each person and you give them the Ale Association drink. And then you give them the In-League drink. So that way you're getting reputation on both sides. With only one stop. So that's kind of cool. If you want to see how to do that, we did finally put out our video about this. We've been meaning to do this for a little while. So we're like, hey, Spring Festival's tomorrow. Let's get this out. So there's a link to that in the chat there. It's over on my YouTube channel. And there's a link in that video description that takes you to a blog post, which also pretty much goes over all the same stuff, but it also gives you kind of a short list of all the things you need to do ahead of time in order to make that, to go do that run, which is basically collect all the In-League drinks ahead of time. That way you don't have to bother with that during the run. And become a member of the Ale Association and a member of the In-League before you start. That's a requirement. So things like that. But yeah, we were able to do it in 25 minutes with a hunter. All 22 quests, like boom, boom, boom. It was great. That reminds me, I need to double check and make sure I'm wearing the Fateful Tool Kit. Awesome. Yes, I am. So the Fateful Tool Kit was something that you got if you bought the Fate of Gundabad Ultimate Fan Edition. So the top tier one. I did go ahead and get that because it had a whole bunch of goodies in there that I wanted, including this Fateful Tool Kit. So check this out. You get, well, I should stay on that for a second. It says that this set of tools grants bonus festival and landscape wallet barter tokens when equipped. Bonus applies to landscape wallet tokens up through Gundabad level 140. So that means it actually applies to, for example, the In-League and the Ale Association. So every time you deliver an In-League drink, you get, well, here, I can look at the quest. You get a badge of taste. So when you deliver this using the Fateful Tool Kit, you actually get 2 badges of taste. Same thing, because it gives you, +1. A bit of white, you get a badge of dishonor, so you get an additional badge of dishonor. It's like 5% or 20% addition or something like that, and it rounds up.
10%.
10%.
So it's 1.1
So it gives you 1.1 badges, but it rounds up. So you get 2 badges, the original one and then the extra one. So that's kind of cool. Pretty great.
We haven't tried it, but fingers crossed.
So it did work for us when we were doing deliveries during Yule Fest, I think it was. And yes, and also any festival tokens you get while you have the Fateful Tool Kit on, you get the bonus +1 of the festival tokens too. So when I do Taste of Spring and I do 10 activities, 3 spring leaves, I'm gonna get 4. So that's pretty awesome. I ended up setting myself up well for future festivals. So, okay, so cool. So B4 has posted that SSG is working on the wrapper quest / seasonal instance issue, and there is a tweet and a link to that tweet if you want to read it. And I think the tweet basically says, we are working on the wrapper quest / seasonal instances issue. We'll let you know. Okay, so what do we want to start with? We could go do the
Dueling with the kid?
you want stomping shrews? Or how about
That's where you get the fortunes, right?
fortunes? Oh, is that this festival?
Yeah.
Oh,
Festival of Fortunes
No.
is oddly familiar from the spring.
the fortunes you buy
Oh,
from, I think you buy them in the cookies.
oh right.
Okay, so, all right, let's talk about stuff.
Who's the token exchange person?
The token exchange, okay, if you need a token exchange person, that's at the party tree.
Oh,
Avatar's like, well, hold on, okay, because we'll,
I'll look on the wiki.
okay. Yeah, we'll come back to that. So last year, the theme was, Fiber Jedi has this on his thing, like Merry Fellow and River Maid or something like that, which basically, the theme was Tom Bombadil and Goldberry for the cosmetic outfits. So you could get the jacket of the Merry Fellow. Check it out, I'm gonna dress myself up like Tom Bombadil. And the hat of the Merry Fellow and the boots of the Merry Fellow. So this is like my Tom Bombadil outfit, right? Isn't that fantastic? With frying pans. Or you could dress yourself up like Goldberry. Ignore the shoulders. And there's the short sleeve version, the long sleeve version, and the sleeveless version, depending on your preference. And it dyes up really well. So later on, there's like a series of quests with a bunch of different river maidens, and they have different colored dresses. You absolutely can dye your stuff in that similar fashion. So that was really nice. So that's the stuff that's still there and available from last year. The steed from last year was the steed of the Forest Spring, which of course I don't have yet on the server. There's the elegant green burning sconce. It's a nice housing item. Gammer. There's a series of cute Hobbit themed furniture items, and that's from Sergeant Tom. You've got Gammer's cozy Hobbit bed, Gammer's coffee table, Gammer's tall trinket stand, and then over from Verbena Greenhand, the festivity tokens vendor, you can get even more Gammer stuff. It's like Gammer's best sofa or something like that. So we'll go take a look at that in a minute. Let's see what else we got. We've got a tome of the Wild Spotted Donkey. That might be new this year. That might be the new cosmetic pet for this year. I'm not sure. Let's see, we've got a tunic set, Mountain Meadow. Okay, so now we're getting into stuff that's been around for more than, this is stuff that wasn't here, that was already here last year. The cap of the Mountain Meadow. I do like that cap. That it's got that, kind of flat look to it, but really embroidered around the edge. I like that one with the little tassels hanging down. I think it's cute. We've got the Last Gallon spring dress. The Last Gallon spring tunic and trousers was one of my very first outfits that I just totally fell in love with, and I used to do it with the backpack, the spring pack. It's right here, and that's the one where like little butterflies fly around if you have it equipped. I'm pretty sure not equipped as a cosmetic, but equipped as an actual, like as your actual back item. And then the boots that go with it. So I had an elf, and this was like her outfit. Not without the shoulders there. So let's see, we got a Cloak of the Moth, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of these things that are fun to get, and some of these dye up in some really fun ways. So that can be really entertaining. There's 9 pages, by the way, of things you can get. Oh, this is the festival where you get the Lonely Mountain Fiddle and the Sprightly Fiddle. Those are really good. Oh, and the White Rose Circlet. I'd like a good circlet, I have kind of an affinity for making sure I have all those different head items for my characters. That way they can still have their hair out, but they've got like something going on their head, which is always nice. The Spring Flinger Hat looks like a jester's hat to me, you know. And some people quite like it. I definitely see that on some of my Hobbit friends. The wide brimmed hat. Oh, that's one of my favorites. It looks like it's made out of silk. I think that one's beautiful. I really like that one. There's a dress that I usually put that with. I can't remember which one, but I'll definitely be getting that. Let's see, we've got the whole symbol mine, the dress. Oh yeah, that's it. It's the dress. It's this one. It looks like symbol mine. It looks like it's made out of silk also. That goes on really well together. What's going on with that hat? Which one? Are you talking about the jester looking hat? Because that one's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know about that one. So we got some recipes. Make sure you grab those. Maps for the deed. So I can't remember who in our kinship is collecting the maps. Somebody is. Here's one of the new items. The glittering stone floor. So that costs 18 of the spring leaves. That's one of the new, and that's on page 4. And then top of page 5, intricate flagstone floor. That's the other one, and that's also 18 tokens. Now, you can always, here in the drop-down menu at the top, you can always click around to get to something faster. So fresh rewards, those are the rewards from last year. There's cosmetics page 1, 2, and 3. There's the recipe. There's housing items and housing items 2. There's other. Spring Festival steeds. Spring Festival steeds for mithril coins. Essences and legendary items. Okay, that's just the essence reclamation scroll. Okay. Dyes and cosmetic pets and gift boxes. So, if you're trying to just like jump to like, oh, I just want to get those new stone floors. Okay, well, you can find those under housing items too. So you don't have to scroll through to like 5 pages. I was just, sometimes I like to see what all is there, and I will be going through with my spreadsheet later on and like marking down the things I want to make sure to get. This is the one with the hedge sculptures. That's kind of fun, especially if you have an elven house, like the elf hedge sculpture, the dwarf hedge sculpture, the hobbit hedge sculpture, garden boar sculpture. Those are fun. Those are a lot of fun. Oh, the Spring Festival theme, that one's nice. The clover table, the Moria keg. The Moria keg is in this one. And that's one where you take a drink and it sends you somewhere, I believe. Let's see, it says, drinking this brandy may not be the safest thing you could do. A kinship friend just reported, says Snuggle Bunnies, that the glitter floor sadly isn't very glittery. I wonder if there's things you can do to make it more glittery. Like, what if you add color to the floor? Like make it white floor. I wonder if that makes a difference. Yeah, that's something definitely worth playing with. Ooh, the hanging pots of ivy. I do like those for your ceiling item because there's not a lot of ceiling decoration items. That's a really nice one for that. Oh, and the clover stool. I often get the clover stool and there's the little clover table from this festival, and those are really cute together. They're very hobbity looking. They're kind of a green look. They're really cute. They're super cute. The Shrew Mouse house. That's in this festival. That's right. Okay, and now we're getting into the consumables. So the consumables, some of these will have accompanying deeds. So after you consume X number of them, it's probably like 300, then you complete a deed. So that takes a while, but what you end up with is a permanent skill. So for example, I ate 300 of the monster fare, and now I get this fun little question mark over my head when I do my emote. So that's fun. It's the one that's like the monster is stuck somewhere and can't get to you, or you can't get to it. That one's fun. I like that one. So sometimes it's worth doing. So we've got, let's see, the piles of mysterious powder. Oh, that's to be used for making ingredients. That's not a consumable. But dragon says, if you don't know what DRAGON stands for, you best try this on someone else. Though there is some print made with 10% real dragons. Scary. We have the Doom Shrooms. Destroys everything you hold dear. It won't be hard. It says, it's kind of like a gross piñata, except instead of giving you candy, it gives you gross. We have a sack of petals. Oh, the sack of petals is nice. I will be doing that one. A sack of flower petals. There appear to be enough to share with others. I think that's the one where you do it and it trickles down flower petals all over everybody. Is there a hedgehog hedge? I don't think so. Yeah, I think they have the boar, and then they have the various races, but they don't have a hedgehog going to be fine. Now there is, what am I thinking of? No, there's a badger house. There's a cute little badger house, and then there's the shrew mouse house. There's also a goose house, but I think that's only available in, which festival was that? I was going to say Yule, but I don't think that's right, because I think we got it during Bombadil, and that would be summertime, so that would be midsummer. Let's see. Okay, so then there's the Spring Fest Brew mugs. It says 3 beers for cheer. Hiccup. We've got extra deliciousy, tasty biscuits. There we go. On use. I'd say he eats more like a duck. Pigs tend to chew. Oh boy, an extra deliciousy, tasty biscuit. Nom nom. I think those are the ones where it says you find a piece of paper inside, and that's the one where you try to collect all the different, not riddles, but it's a phrase, and then once you collect all 10, and there's like 10, it's like, 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30, and it's on the LOTRO wiki if you're ever curious. And it has like a little story, like one of the series, it's definitely things that Bilbo would have said. Things like that. Let's see, the cold fish and the slapper fish people enjoy. Yes, the cold fish gives you the passive skill, the emote fish slap. So it looks like you grab a fish and slap somebody with it. And then there is a slapper fish, which is a implement you can carry around and you can slap people with it. The steed of the forest spring, we talked about that. The elk of the spring wood, I'm very excited about, because that one is beautiful. In fact, I think we've seen a couple of people come in and out riding that one already. So pretty. That one's a good one. I'm excited to get that. And then here's all the mithril coin steeds, and oof. I probably will skip that for now, unless there's something that I really, really, really want. Occasionally I'll buy them out from mithril, but it's pretty rare. Okay, so the dies, let's talk about the dies here for a second. Well, let me finish off real quick and then we'll come back to the dies. So lots of cosmetic pets, that's cool. That'll be good. And then there's the gift wrap boxes. So the gift wrap boxes are kind of cool in the sense that when you buy a lot of these, they're bound to a count, like a lot of the cosmetics and whatnot. So you can't buy a cosmetic for somebody else and give it to them. So, that's kind of a bummer. But they got around that by having these gift wrap versions. So like if you want the spring dress boots and you're doing a bunch of festival, you have a bunch of tokens, but your kinmate is really busy, been sick, whatever. They really want those boots, but they don't have a chance to get it. You can buy it for them with the gift wrap version, and then you just send them that or give it to them, whatever. And then they open it and then it's bound to them. But the box itself, the gift wrap box, is not bound. So that's a really cool way to be able to buy things for other people. So Affodil is planning to get all of the consumable deeds done. Excuse me, and has discovered that they will need about 1,800 Spring Festival tokens. Okay, let's talk about dies for a quick second. So you'll notice we've got, if I go to the die category, there's 4 dies listed here. We've got the Shire Plum dies and the Bullroarer's green dies. And you notice that those are listed for mithril coins. And then underneath that, we've got the lavender dies and the dark purple dies. You'll notice those are listed for the festival tokens. And it's a pile of 6 of them, by the way. So it's not just one, like you get 6 pots of these, which is nice. So the deal with that is that every year it swaps which 2 are available for festival tokens and which 2 are available for mithril coins. So basically this is an even year. So the lavender dies and the dark purple dies are available for the festival tokens this year. So you want to stock up this year with enough to last you until 2 years from now. I mean, unless you want to spend mithril coins, but I don't. So that's what I buy with festival tokens. I will trade time for festival tokens. Excuse me. So yeah, you want to stock up on it now, because then next year the Shire Plum dies and the Bullroarer's green dies will be available on the odd year. So you can kind of plan ahead a little bit like that. So you kind of know, oh, okay, I'm looking for the Bullroarer green. Oh, okay, I got to wait till next year, or buy it off of somebody who bought it last year. So unfortunately for us on this server, we don't have any of that from last year, because last year didn't exist. But anyway, I just wanted to give you a heads up on the dies that you want to grab a bunch during the festival if you can, to last you for 2 years, and then it'll swap next year. So that's at least nice. You got some options there. Okay, I was thinking that we would go ahead and start. There's a quest. Well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get this started because it does send us to the Shire. So we're going to do this. Yeah, cool. Okay, so over here, Arn Bulrush, later on, he's going to have a daily quest for us. But to start off, he has a quest that is a bit of a story. The Pretty Parched Partygoers, that's your daily. We'll come back to that. But Born Aloft in Springtime is a story that he takes you through, and it sends you around a little bit. And it involves race of man and elves and hobbits, and so that it's kind of nice. And it is going to send us to the Shire at some point. Now, this is a one-time per festival story. So once you do it this festival, you know it's over and completed, and then next year when the festival is back, you can go and do it again. So just a heads up there. So what did you say here? Oh, one of my hobbits on a different server was antisocial, so took 3 hedges, yes, and blocked off the door of the elvish house except for a little hobbit-sized gap. It was really quite funny. We were like, hey, can you see if you can get inside the house? And you had to go just to the right spot to be able to get through, because there's 6 outdoor spots in your yard for decorating. And so, yeah, 3 of them were put in front of the door. It was really funny. It's over on Anor, if you want to go and try and find it. It's in the Elven neighborhood, and I don't remember which neighborhood though, but it's one of the Elven ones. So, all right. Anyway, so Born Aloft in Springtime. He says, welcome, welcome. There are many enjoyable activities with which to celebrate the arrival of springtime, and many of them can be found right here in the festival grounds. I know you will have a good time. But if I might steal your ear for just a moment, could I ask you to help me with something? It is a small matter, a trifle, really, but I'm a bit concerned about a number of recent arrivals here at the grounds. There are 3 of them, and they have been on the road for a long while. I am to understand that they have made the journey all the way from Gondor? Well, it was a ways. They call themselves herbalists, and while I would not turn anyone away, they have made themselves something of a nuisance here already. Could you make sure they are happy, and more importantly, that they do not bother my patrons with any more of their strange questions? I really appreciate it, and I'll see that you get some extra spring leaves for helping me out. So this whole series, actually, no. He's going to give us 18 spring leaves for completing his portion of it. Okay, so we are going to go over to Mil Gamel, and she says, have you come here to assist the herbalists? We are always in need of such assistance, for the pursuit of knowledge never ends. I am sure you are well aware. I was the apprentice of Galather, the herb master of Minas Tirith, and he sent me forth to research the plants and mosses of Ithilien and the wastes before Gondor. He did not agree with some of the conclusions I made upon my return and sought to dismiss me. Not only that, but he has taken a new apprentice. Actually, he has taken 2 and sent them north to Breland to confirm some of his botanical theories. Well, my sojourn into the wilds, as well as my perusal of that fine tome, Warts and Weeds, has taught me that I do not need to be Galathar's apprentice to study the natural world. So I followed his new apprentices here, and I have been trying to help them with their studies. It seems to me that they might be cut from the same cloth as my old master, poor fellows. They have been bothering the people here with Galathar's questions, when they should be out in the field studying the plants and grasses with their own eyes. All right, so we're going to help her with a quest called A Natural Study. All right, so Nethlas, one of these apprentices, he says, Milgamel is a good friend, and I have known her since childhood, but she proved a poor apprentice to my master Galather. I think she fancied herself the master and he the apprentice. Can you imagine such folly? Anyway, Brew here and I know to show him the respect he deserves, and we have come here to confirm several of his theories about the spread of flowering plants in the Northlands. Milgamel came along as well, and to speak true, I do not think we could have prevented her from doing so. She will not appear in our report to Galather, I can tell you that. But enough of this banter. I spoke to a fellow some time ago, a Paraneath like you, is that what we call hobbits? About gathering up some yellow cattails for my study, and he never returned. Now I charge you with this task and beg you do not disappoint me as he did. All right, so we want to go and gather yellow cattails around the festival grounds. All right, let's go take a look. Well, look at that. I see some right away. So they're just peppered around this area, so it won't take us long to pick them up. There's enough here for both of us, yes. It's a awesome. So yeah, we can both pick up from the same plant. So that's convenient. It doesn't disappear. Like in some quests, you know how when you go to get something and it disappears and then the person standing there going, well, I was going to pick that up too. Bummer. And they have to wait. Yeah. It's being pointed out to me that these things are the size of a hobbit. They are pretty tall, actually. They're taller than a hobbit. It's awesome. So yes, I'm excited because I'm going to like get enough cosmetic stuff and get the mounts for all my characters. So one of the things I'm trying to do is get all the festival mounts for each one of my characters. I have 11 characters on this server. And so my goal is to get each of them the mount every time we do festival. So that way, if I ever do play them, they have the mount, as opposed to 12 with my double hunter. Do I have? Yeah, I think it's 11. There's 11 classes. Oh, then I must have 12. Okay, we've got his cattails. So let me throw these in his face. He says, the cattails are requested. You have proven your worth to be far greater than the fellow I first asked for these. I will examine these on behalf of my master, and we will see if he has the right of it. Milgamel thinks that old book of hers, Warts and Weeds, lists the proper uses of a cattail, but Galather has his doubts, and therefore so do I. But I have become quite parched. Will you bring our table some of that fine spring wine? I saw a number of the bottles across the grounds over that way, and every worthwhile botanical study requires proper refreshment. So says my master, and so say I. Okay. So that's why I didn't pick up the other quest from Arn Bulrush here, because we have to go pick up wine and send it to this guy, and it won't let us do both of them at the same time from what I recall. It seems like I ran into that little problem another time when I ended up having to do one and finish it before I could pick up this other one or complete this other one. Okay, so we've got the wine and we're running back, and we've got our little bar there showing how much time we have, and we take it back to the guy with the blue ring over his head, and he turns into a gold ring, and it says he nods in you in acknowledgement but not thanks. He says, it has come to my attention that there are patches of blue alnarloth growing nearby. Why did I spend my time thinking about yellow cattails when I could be studying a much more interesting and important bloom? Why, Galather would be most disappointed in me, and I might join Milgamel as another in the growing list of spurned apprentices. This guy sounds like a winner. Quickly, my useful assistant, gather up purple anorloth and bring them to me with utmost haste. I will tell you the history of this most important flower upon your return. So, again, the same sort of thing. You're going to find them dotted around the area. Dot, 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 dot. Oh, here's one. Cool, cool. Now, there's no time on this one. Like, you know, I could go away and do other things if I wanted to. But I'm right here, and it doesn't take long. But sunflowers. Yeah, there's spoilers. There's sunflowers involved in this quest eventually. Oh, hey, here's another one behind there. I don't remember that one being there. Maybe it was, but I mean, none of the other ones have moved. Maybe I just never noticed that one before. Indeed. Oh, I don't want to take the Breton horse. How many more do I need? 3. Was there one there? I need 2 more after this. Now, when you go to do the beverage dropping off, we might do that actually before we, because there's going to be a point where they're going to send us to Brew. And so before we do that, we might go ahead and just do the beverage thing here too, just to show you how that one goes. Because sometimes people get a little lost on that one. I know it took me a little trial and error to figure it out the first time. All right, so we've got his purple flowers, so we're going to ride over back to him. I often just mount up and ride back to him. It's a little time saver. Just try to go around people. All right, he says, yes, these flowers are clearly Anaroth and the samples are in fine condition. It makes a great deal of sense that they should grow here in the Northlands. You see these purple flowers with the yellow centers are the descendants of a very special type of flower that the men of the West brought to these shores long ago. That bloom was the Anerloth, and it was planted wherever they came to settle. These Anerloth are held to be the descendant of those legendary flowers which died out sometime in the intervening years. My master Galather has written extensively about the Anerloth of long ago and the Anerloth of today, and he is widely considered the foremost expert on both. But I am parched once again, and we are in need of more spring wine, assistant. Fetch us some now, and I will share with you, no, not the wine, I will share with you more tales of the legendary Anerloth. Okay, fine. We'll go and get him more wine. Luckily, we know just where to get it. Hi, Verbena Greenhand. Verbena Greenhand is the same verbena that you see at the Yule Festival. She's becoming quite the festival junkie, because she's now at the Spring Festival as of last year. And let's see, she's at the Yule Festival and summer, I think, too. All right, so here's Brood here. He catches your eye and calls you over. What up, dude? The assistant who brings the wine is the most popular of them all. That is not one of Galather's expressions, but it is one of mine. So it is with an abundance of good feeling that I count you as a friend. Might you do something for me, my new friend? There is an elf across the way who seems to have taken an interest in our discussions. He's right over there and has been staring at us for some time. I do not like it. Go see what he wants. All right, let's take a look. Hello, my not-so-subtle elven friend. What's up? This is Harendel. He says, I apologize if I have caused the visiting herbalist some discomfort, but I must confess that it was not entirely without reason. I find their demeanor unpleasant and their behavior discourteous, but I am most offended by this single point. The herb master they serve knows nothing about the Anerloth bloom and has spread much about it that is simply untrue. So now this is actually going to finish a part of this quest. It's going to give us some legendary item experience, but it doesn't give us any flowers or any petals. But that counts as participating in one spring festival activity. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's find out the next thing. He says, I would not normally involve myself with such matters, but my brother Edlothon travels to Mithlond, there to depart Middle-earth for the Undying Lands. We said our farewells just yesterday, and I tarried here at the festival grounds, seeking a balm for my unsettled thoughts. I could not make the decision for him, but neither am I ready to sail to the west, and the conflict wars within me. Edlothon and I were given to traveling throughout Middle-earth, and together we found great joy in the beauty of far-off places. We rested in Rivendell and called it home, but never for long. We were always off again on our journeys before the sun had set a dozen times, and we wandered the wilds and came to villages unfamiliar and strange. This was our practice for almost an age of the world, but Edlothon grew sorrowful at the changes he saw, the places that were damaged by the ravages of war, and the losses inflicted by Sauron. In time, we did not journey as often, and we spent longer in Rivendell than we did away. This has been the last of our travels. My brother departs, but the memory of my wanderings with him remain, and that is how I know your herbalist friends are mistaken. The purple Anerloth of today bear little resemblance to the Anerloth of legend. If you tell them this, I will describe what I know of the Anerloth to them and to you, if you wish. Okay, well, I say let's do it. So, hello, pompous boy. Let's tell you something. He says, I do not know what this elf thinks he knows, but I have never heard his name before. How many tomes of herb lore has he studied? He's probably written them, you doofus. He says, not only that, how many has he written? My master Galather has written innumerable such tomes and is a noted expert on countless subjects related to the many breeds and uses of every plant that grows upon this Middle Earth. All in Minas Tirith know of his expansive knowledge, and none would dare doubt its breadth or its accuracy. I will hear out this elf, but only in order to reveal him for the charlatan he is, and you can tell him so. I keep waiting to see if there's a quest with that herb master in Minas Tirith. Okay, so I believe this is going to take us into an instance. Yes. He says, listen well, and I will tell both the Cerberus and you what I know of the legendary Analossa. All right. Ooh, are we able to do it together? Fantastic. Okay. Oh, hey. Kailery Dancer has some thoughts while driving. I like using my lore master and bog lurker during the bees instance so I can launch my lurker's bees too. I also love circlets for hair and ornamentation. Yes. The Cymbeline are mentioned in the movies when Theoden talks about them growing on the tombs. Oh, nice. On the of Rohan. And Anor means sun in the Elvish languages. Yes. Anor is sun and Ithil was moon. And so those are two of the legendary servers. So I thought that was a clever thing they did there. Okay. Here in the instance, the elf says, Hernandel says, there are many varieties of the flower that bloom in the undying lands beyond the reach of mortals, never to be seen by man or dwarf or hobbit. Elves know of them by song or story, if not by sight, and that knowledge brings them joy or sorrow in turns. But some flowers came to grow in distant soil. This Anarlossa was one of them, and it grew in profusion in Numenor across the sea. Tall it was, like the men of that land. And as it grew, it faced the rising of the sun in the east and was crowned with the light of morning. Okay, so we're going to listen to his tale. So he says that the Analossa were held to be an emblem of the house of Elros. Seeds were brought to Middle-earth by Elendil. Oops, I pushed the wrong button here. He sent them to be planted wherever the men of the West came to settle. That reminds me, we had a sunflower in our garden last year. Oh, hang on. She's got something to say. She says, every student of history knows the tale of Elendil and his flight from Numenor, and that he brought plants and seedlings of high birth and low with him to Middle-earth. But if he ordered such flowers as the Analossa to be planted wherever the people settled, they should still grow in abundance. That is why my former master believed the Anorloth to be its true descendant, and on this I cannot say I disagree. How came Harandel to know of this flower's history? And he says, bah, not the elf, but the human guy. If these tall flowers were truly planted by the men of the West throughout Middle-earth, where are they now? Anorloth grows in many places, but I have not seen these flowers you describe in Gondor. Neither have I seen them throughout Ithilien. If you are not a liar, perhaps you are a fool, and I should wish to be neither. All right, Harandel says, nope, you are right. I have not come by this knowledge through study, or at least not through the study of old books or herb masters' teachings. He says, my brother and I walked the hills and valleys of Middle-earth long ago. And then there's a play in the background there of them walking. We took great joy in our wanderings, and every new sight filled our hearts. Nothing cheered us so much as the Analossa that lined the roads as we walked. And so you'll notice they're kind of grayed out, but they're or darkened out, but they're looking at sunflowers. So they grew in the gardens of Minas Ithil, I think I said. They grew too in the courts and along the paths of Numenor, the city of kings. She says, what happened to them? Arendelle says they died. And now you see the sunflowers are fading. It began when Anarion was slain in Mordor. It continued during the long decline of the Northern Kingdom. And then one sad day, there were none left that you know of. The elves are crying in the background. My brother and I did not journey much together after that. We just grew apart. Sad. And his brother's gone. He's sad and alone. All right, he says, that is the tale. Now you must understand why I feel so strongly that the Anorlosa be remembered as they were, not as a distant herbmaster pretends them to be. So Nethlos, the human guy, says, I'm not saying that I believe this elf, but he has given me some food for thought. Good. So Calorie Dancer says, Elros being the first Numenorian king, he will likely see lots of sun emblems in the Amazon show. We will likely see lots of sun emblems. Yeah, that's cool. I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point. Yeah, I'm trying not to get too excited about the Amazon show, but at the same time, I'm very, keen to see to see all the stuff brought to life, see the lore brought to life. I think that's going to be really awesome. That's one of the things I love about LOTRO too. Excuse me, is just being able to kind of step into the story and experience it that way, right? So I'm looking forward to also the same thing with the Amazon show if we watch it, which I assume we probably would, is that, yeah, watching how, being able to basically enter into that story, vicariously by watching through other characters and such. So, okay, so current quest, the blooms of Anorlos. Okay, so the elf says, Edlothan and I did not travel as often once the Anorlosa died out. It was only one sign of the wounds that Sauron inflicted upon Middle-earth, but it affected we two more personally than many others. I wonder if the Anorlosa still grow in the Undying Lands. Perhaps when I come there at last, I will find my brother smiling among them, eager to chastise me for delaying so long to see them. It is a happy thought, even if that is all. All right. A nearby hobbit coughs politely, motioning for you to speak with her. Now the hobbits get involved. Ho, 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 ho. This is Fairgild Putafoot. And she says, I beg your pardon, and I hope you'll excuse me, but I could not help but overhear the telling of your friend's story. I'm not very good with names, so I do not quite know what flower he was talking about, but it seems to me that they bear some resemblance to the humble sunflower. They grow in the Shire, Oh, what? The plot thickens. Or maybe it's soup. Sounds good. Getting hungry. I often will eat before the stream, but with the stream time change for this week and probably next week, I didn't eat as much as I normally do. Anyway, so the elf says that hobbit believes that some strain of Anorlosa still grow within the bounds of her land. Can it be true? Da da da. All right, so let's see what else he has to say. So that finishes a quest, and now he starts another one. But this is all under that umbrella of the original, hey, can you get those guys to stop being obnoxious quest? Original, thing. Okay. He says, I can hardly believe it. Can it be true that the blooms of the Anorlosa have come to be preserved within the bounds of the Shire? I do not want my brother Edlothan to depart from Middle-earth without knowing if this be so. The thought that he could leave without knowing fills me with regret, and my remaining years would be a sorrow to think he sailed away believing every trace of the Anorlosa had vanished. You have the look of a determined hobbit. Can I ask you to hurry after my brother's company and to bring him word of these sunflowers? I do not ask you to change his mind, merely to let him know that the flowers we loved in our younger days did not disappear as we believed, but still can be found in the world today. That will be enough for me. And for Edlothan, my brother, his party of elves plan to take the customary route of our people through the country of the Green Hills. Go to the Shire and look for them in the wooded hills above the road. And hurry! I said farewell to my brother not far from here, but that was yesterday, and he will have covered much ground since then. Okay, so we have to reach him before the elves leave. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and accept this quest. Awesome. So you'll notice now we have a timer here. And that's funny, if I look at the quest itself, it's not there. But if I look at the quest on the side, I have 29 minutes and 40 seconds. So I am going to take us to the Shire. But how will we ever get to the Shire on time? I'll take us to Mickle Delving. So Calorie Dancer says, even if I don't agree with every choice, I'm still looking forward to it and love spending any time in Middle Earth, right? Yeah, I share your sentiment there. Yeah, I mean, bringing any story from book to a visual medium, changing a story from one medium to another is a complicated thing. Here, I'm just going to follow you for a minute. That's my thinking on things. So basically, especially if you take, for example, a book, and there's so much you can do in a book that gets into like what a person is thinking, what a character is thinking, or kind of describing like a history of something, to give you some background of things, or, you know, in a description to perhaps like point out very specific things in a description, like, you know, how green the hills were or how dark the sky was or something like that, right? Yeah, cautiously optimistic. Yeah, in the chat there. Yeah, I agree. And so there's things you do on paper that, you know, get you in a certain way, right? But you can't necessarily see what the author is seeing in their head. You only see what they described and how that translates into what you see in your own head. So, you know, that's why it's so interesting when you'll have like a book and you'll have like fan art and people drawing the characters, and they can come up with some very different looks because, you know, those are different interpretations of how that person saw that, right? So we're riding out to Green Hill Country, not far from where the hobbits saw the fox. So we're out here by Woodhall is where we're headed to, in that area. Okay, so, oh, you've been really enjoying the Signum streams about adaptation, right? Professor Corey does some fantastic stuff. We can cut through here before the hill, or you can cut after the hill. Anyway, so yes, Professor Corey's streams are so awesome. Before says, I like what Neil Gaiman said recently in response to someone asking if the book or the show of Good Omens was better. The book is a better book and the TV show is a better TV show. Exactly. It's a very different medium. So, excuse me, when you're doing like a visual medium, like a TV program or a movie or a play even, excuse me a second, you definitely have to approach it from a different perspective, right? Because you can't be like, it's really hard to tell people what's going on inside someone's head, you know, without the character telling you what's going on inside their head. But if you want to express that something's going on, but they're not completely recognizing it, you know, how do you do that when in the book, let's say, you know, the character was alone and was having a situation or whatever, and they were, you know, they were going through this process or whatever, and then how do you then do that in the video setting without the character saying what they're not really necessarily knowing yet, right? So you basically then have to give that information to another character who then somehow tells the audience about it. So right there, you've changed the adaptation, right? You've changed it from being understanding what was going on with the character while the character was alone to somebody external from the character being able to express what's going on with that character, right? So it's a whole change already right there. So that's where, what is better, right? To leave the character alone and yet hope that that information gets translated, or bring in a different scenario so you get the same information, but yet it's not literally faithful to the original material, right? So I get it. I get adaptations are not simple. So I've been, somebody has come and said, elves, Mr. Frodo. Indeed, there are elves here. The elf camp is not abandoned for now. Hey, Adlothon, I got something for you. To depart in springtime. He says, May Gavanen, friend, what brings you to us with such haste? Stay a moment and rest, for we will soon move on, but for a time I would welcome the conversation. You introduce yourself and convey Harendel's message. My brother thinks a hobbit has seen a bloom of the legendary Anarlosa. I find that most difficult to believe. These flowers began to die at the end of the Second Age, and as Arnor declined, so did the Anarlosa. They have not been seen for hundreds of years. Your hobbit friend is mistaken, and my brother is misguided by hope. Are you sure? All right, let's see what he says. The promise of spring flowers. It's our new quest. We're picking this up now. He says, you are certain you understood that what this hobbit had to say. For the love of my brother Harendel, I will humor you in this, even if it seems fanciful beyond all reason. There's a Hobbit village just beneath us, and I understand it is called Woodhall by those who live there. Go to this village and speak with the Hobbits and learn if they possess such a flower as you describe. My mind is set, and springtime is the season of my departure, but I have not such haste that I cannot spare a moment to answer this one question of my brother. The journeys we shared in our youth remain dear to me, as does he. Go to Woodhall and put the matter to rest. I cannot delay very long, but I will give some moments to the exercise. It has left my thoughts astir. All right. Let's go say hi to some nearby hobbits. And by saying hi, I mean jump down on their roofs, because that's what I do. All right. Hey, there are some elves in town who don't like, there are some in town who don't like the elves coming near Woodhall. Really? That's a shame. All right, so if you talk to any of the hobbits here in town, they're basically going to tell you the same thing, which is you should talk to Marjoram. She is always painting flowers and plants and animals, and she may have seen the elf flower you're seeking. She lives here in Woodhall. So everybody you talk to is going to be like, let's see, what does she say? This mysterious flower does sound like a sunflower to me. Not the purple sort with the bright yellow center, but the other variety. Marjoram is always painting that second kind, and you should talk to her. And then the townsperson guy over here, will you let me sit here in peace? I know only that I find flowers quite pretty to look at, but if you seek a deeper understanding than that, I have nothing to offer you. Okay, I'll go talk to the lady over here. Hey, Marjoram. Wool gatherer, that's her last name. That's cute. You're looking for sunflowers? Why, I finished painting another of them not yesterday. I leaned it against the wall over here to dry. Inspect it and tell me what you think. Well, sure. Let's take a look. Hello, Hobbit painting. I am inspecting you. The painting does bear a resemblance to the Anarlossa described by Herndel. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, our elf brother has come down. He says, I do not know what to say. If I did not know any better, I would say the artist painted this not from memory, but from life. This depicts one of the Anarlossa just as I remember. How can this be? Did one of my people paint this picture? How came it to be in this village of hobbits? They are longer lived than men, but not so long that any could have seen the Anarlossa and put paint to paper with such accuracy. Glad he didn't say precision. The last of that breed died out long ago, and only one of my people could have painted this. Well, she giggles, the hobbit. Ho, 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 ho. I have always heard that elves were frightening and strange, but your friend here seems rather amusing instead. I assure you, no elf painted this picture, but I will take that as a compliment of my artistry. Yes, I am the painter, and indeed I have painted a number of the plants and animals I have seen in the woods and fields throughout the Shire. I do not know the word that he used to describe this flower. I have never heard it before. No doubt it is an elvish word of some meaning and great significance, but we hobbits like to give things names that tell you everything you need to know. This painting is of a sunflower, of course. There are many of them growing around the border of a farm field north of Woodhall, if you'd like to see them for yourself, and tell your elf friend that I appreciate his kind words about my painting. All right. Yes, you're also a roof faller. Disturber of the peace. I am a disturber of the peace. Instead of barrel rider, you'll be known as roof jumper. Oh, if I talk to Ed Lothon, he has more. What does he say? A field bordered by such flowers as depicted by this painting, lead the way, even if I scarce believe the words of this hobbit.
So if you jump over here,
And yeah, and then she says the same thing. Oh, we're jumping on more roofs. Yeah, what's up?
and then you come to this rock,
Okay, we go to a rock.
up to just here,
Oh, interesting.
and you can climb out.
Oh, nice. I could just climb straight out. Ha, that's cool. I usually go out the entrance, but it's a little longer. Yeah, I usually go out that way. Yep, I'm a roof faller. I admit it. Okay, so we're riding north over here from the Woodhall area, and there he is. There's our elf friend, or our brother friend. Sunflowers line the field, and Ed Lothon stares at them with wonder in his eyes. How did he walk through the Shire without noticing them? He just took the elven paths, I guess. All right, how can I put this into words? My heart leaps at the sight. I feel as if I have stepped back in time, back to a day not when the Anarloss struggled and failed, but to a day when they flourished. Herndel and I walked together among these flowers in kingdoms north and south, and our eyes lighted up on the horizon, and our minds danced upon the future it promised. I am brought back to those happy days, and the sorrows that followed in the wake of Sauron and his wars are forgotten to me. The promise of the sunflowers was as bright as their petals, and so many journeys still lie ahead of us. Following the death of Anarion and the decline of Arnor, the Anorlost died out in the wider world, and yet somehow a seedling must have come to this land. I can see it in my mind's eye, borne aloft in springtime, carried on the breeze until it came to rest within this sheltered land. That seed took root, and from it a line prospered, hidden from outside eyes. The Anorlost survived. He gazes at the sunflowers in silence. I was prepared to depart. My heart wept to leave my brother, but I knew that I would see him again when he too sailed from these shores. But the sight of these flowers has restored in me a sensation I've not felt since our travels together so long ago. How many other wonders might remain in Middle-earth? This wanderlust stirs in me again. I believed I could remain no longer, but now I think my brother and I might find joy in another journey within the bounds of Middle-earth, and then depart for the undying lands together, as once I thought we would. Can I ask you to convey this message to Herondale for me? I will spend some time here in contemplation and will join him soon. You have my thanks for reminding me of what I once held dear. And not only that, I am grateful for one more thing. You have given back to me the hope of the unexpected, the unlooked-for wonders that might still remain around the next bend or behind the next tree. You have given back to me the promise of sunflowers, and that is something I have missed. Aww. Okay, so... yep, convey the message to him. What was that? See, this is why you don't always walk under the trees. Silly sunflowers seek the sun. There you go. Hey, just right. It's good to see you there in the chat. Welcome. All right, so I'll take us back to Brew here in a second. And we can go turn this in, or go tell his brother what we have found. Do you know a shortcut to the cheese place? Oh my gosh, we are mostly out of cheese in the house, and it's very sad. We do still have a little bit of white cheese. Vitikas. I may have to make myself I don't have any bagels left. But I think I do have some bread. I might have enough to make a sandwich. Oh, and I still have the pasta from last night. I made some pasta last night. I have some gluten-free pasta that's not bad, actually. Yeah, so, and I had leftovers, so maybe I'll have that. Maybe I could put a little extra cheese on it. Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm definitely a Hobbit at heart. And I love living in the Netherlands where we have access to pretty yummy cheeses around here. Okay, so we are headed back to, let's see, I think the elf. Yeah, we gotta tell the elf about his brother. Okay, you have returned. Did you find my brother in time? And was there any truth to the rumor that some strain of the Anorlost might remain within the Shire? You tell Herondale about the sunflowers and his brother's decision to remain in Middle-earth for now. He looks at you thoughtfully, and after a moment a smile lightens his features. I am conflicted, my friend. I did not mean to gainsay my brother's choice, for I know when he made the decision it was not easy, and he felt it strongly. I would not tell him otherwise, but I did not wish to make him stay. But when you went in search of him, it seemed the Anorlost might bloom still somewhere in the Shire. I confess I did wonder what I would say if he chose to stay. Could our journeying days come again? Where might we go? I have come up with just the right destination. I will suggest to my brother that we let our wandering feet bring us to the Southlands. There is a so-called master of herbs in Minas Tirith that I would propose we visit. He is possessed of a number of misconceptions that Edlothan and I are well prepared to correct. We two elf brothers will depart in springtime, buoyed by the breeze and a spring in our step, on another journey like those we took of old. Thank you for helping my brother and me. Perhaps the sun will smile upon us and our paths will cross in some distant land. Until then, my friend, farewell. Okay, so we have finished his quest, and now we go back to Arn, born aloft in springtime. And he says, I saw you leave without taking care of my own problem, and I admit at first I was rather cross with you. Did you forget I asked you to ensure the visiting herbalist did not cause any further disturbances? But shortly after you departed, I noticed something most unusual. They stopped their drinking and their carousing and instead began quietly speaking among themselves. Well, the sparks of my curiosity were set aflame, and I took a casual stroll by their table. They seemed to be questioning the merits of some long-held belief, and the discussion had shaken them into politeness. What a strange turn of events! I do not know what part you played in this argument about flower strains, and neither do I know if they decided this plant card called Anarlosa and the one called Analarth are truly one and the same, but I do believe that you may have given them something to think about, and while they're thinking, they are done causing disturbances. In conclusion, you have earned these spring leaves after all. Spend them at your leisure and enjoy the festival. So that will be 18 spring leaves, but because I'm wearing the, 20, because I have the toolkit. Yeah. Boom, boom, yeah. And that is 5 out of our 10 festival activities for the day. Now remember, we do only get to run that once during the festival. So tomorrow we'll do 10 other things, well 5 other things to replace the 5 of those we just did. But speaking of, let's go ahead and do this daily. So this is the Pretty Parched Party Goers. He said, I just walked around the festival grounds, and do you know what I saw? Why, my disappointed eyes beheld parched party-goers everywhere I turned. No spring festival can be properly enjoyed without the delightful notes of a smooth spring wine. I have some spring leaves for you if you'll pick up jugs of wine from the tables in the center of the festival grounds and deliver them to the tables on the outskirts. Okay, so back where we got the wine for Dude Bro, we're going to go back over there. And you'll notice these tables here under this canopy. There's spring wine on a bunch of these tables. So the first table we want to go to is kind of over by the horses. So yep, Affadil is already on the way. So let me grab a bottle of wine and I will follow her over there. So you want to get to the area where the party goers are, and you'll see they're dancing around in here stuff. Sometimes it's a little less active. There might not be any people here because the wine has run out. You are all my very favorite people. I mean it. But anyway, so once you get close to them, then the wine basically goes out of your hands and goes to them. So you don't have to actually place it anywhere or talk to any specific character. You just kind of get in the vicinity and it ends up in their hands. Okay, so then we grab some more wine again, and we want to go straight ahead from where we are standing. You'll see another group of people under a tent, and that's these party goers here. So notice I had wine, and now I've dropped it because they have it. So and it says, the thing pops up and it says it's been delivered to the south table, to the north table. Let's see, does it show on my deed log? No, I don't see it. Now the last one is over here. So we're going to go past these two where this guy is laughing at the guy who's underneath the table. We go past him, past this little stage, and over here there's another tent of partygoers. And that's the last one. She says, this happened last time. Do you think these musicians do it on purpose? She mentions from time to time that they're standing in her food. This is kind of funny. All right, and then we head back to Arn, and it's just those 3 that you do. And that's it. And he says, I can tell that your deliveries were met with much appreciation. You earned these spring leaves and at the same time put my mind at ease. I hope everyone's having a good time. When the partygoers find they are once again parched, there will always be need of someone willing to bring them what they need. So check back with me from time to time, my useful friend. So that's a daily. And another cool thing about this is it also gives you 50 virtue experience. So in a lot of the festivals, there will be a quest, and sometimes 2, that gives you virtue experience. And so this is one of those. So every day you do that, you get some virtue XP. So that's convenient too. Boom, and some spring leaves. Oh yeah. Let's see. What did you do? Deliver wine, get more compassion. Your compassion virtue trait went up. Nice. Nice. I got, for every virtue, we get bonus virtue XP because we're on deadly difficulty. So we get plus 5% virtue experience when we complete a quest that gives us, or a deed that gives us virtue experience. So that's convenient. So instead of 50, I got 52. Ooh.
3 leaves instead of 2.
3 leaves. Yeah, 3 leaves instead of 2. That's pretty neat too. Speaking of wine, would you like to join me on an in-league quest to go find a barrel inside the maze?
My goodness, yes.
The maze. Let's go. It's amazing. All right, so aside from that just being a funny joke, all right, so over here by the maze, you have let me just point out real quick that if you use that map that you get when you get that first pop-up quest, assuming you got the quest, we mentioned it like an hour and a half ago, but there are some people who are not getting that quest bestowed to them. So if that's the case, just don't worry. You can still do Spring Festival. You can still go and pick up the wrappers and everything. You just can't do the instances without that. I guess there's a correlation somewhere in there. But anyway, if you get that auto bestowed quest and you get the map that looks like this one, Map to the Spring Festival, when you use that map, it will send you here, which is okay, but you need to go talk to Major Tom first. It's actually Sergeant Tom. But so you have to go talk to him first to get the wrapper. So just be prepared for that you might appear here, but you really want to go back over there to the main area. Okay, so we're here, and there are quests all over the place. A number of these are exclusive from one to the other. Like you can't have multiples of them running at the same time. So yes. So you want to make sure you pick and choose the one you want to do. Some of them can be run concurrently, but some of them cannot. So yes, our kinship name is Not So Hasty. Yes, maybe our kinship should have been Not So Punny. We do like the puns. Okay, so so this lady here, Emma Greenbush, is kind of annoyed with the terrible tweens that are running around in the maze. And she's like, I came here this year to enjoy the greenery and go away from the noise of my home. I wanted to get lost in the quiet and smells of spring. Instead, I come on the day when the tweens from the Shire arrive. You wouldn't believe the mayhem inside the maze. Please, can you make them go away? Make them be quiet. They're running around harrying and annoying everything on 2 legs. So you'll find that there are tweens inside saying things like, this maze is amazing. Things like that. All right, but first we're going to do the green challenge. He's like, oh, hello, I don't feel well today. I don't even know how I got here. Are you a member of the Inn League? Am I? I don't know if I believe that you are. You're spinning to be sure, but oh, hello, are you a member of the Inn League as well? So when we accept this quest, we are to search the maze for an Inn League artifact. And when we find it and then come back to him, we will get an Inn League Sinister Keg or 2 spring leaves. You get to choose that. And we also get some experience. Sorry, I just skipped right over that. We also get increased reputation with the Inn League and some legendary item experience. I think I can pick up the tweens then at the same time. So when you pick up a quest, the other ones you can't have concurrently will drop, like the rings will disappear. All right, so we'll go ahead and pick up the tweens because that one sometimes takes a little while, which means I can't do the elves. So this guy, he's trying to play tricks on the elves because he's a dwarf and, you know, that's what they do. All right, so I think I'm ready to go in. Ready? Shall we go find a keg? So when you go into the maze, if you're mounted, you'll be dismounted because mounts aren't allowed in the maze. Okay, fine. And I've gotten this maze down pretty good in terms of how to find the center where the thing is, but I don't always have everything else. Actually, I might just follow you. So we're gonna go this way, and then we're gonna kind of like jig and jog a little bit there. Yep, zoop, 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 zoop. Not there. Next one. And then we go around to the right, and ta-da! We have found the center. Now, it doesn't show you on the map, like, it's terrible. But here, we're gonna go ahead and drink this little puppy, which makes everything kind of fuzzy, and also you walk funny. All right, are you sure that was wise? So I'm going to, it says, find the exit before time runs out. All right, so here we go. Hey, there's a tween. Wonder if I can catch him. Probably not. Yeah, because I'm too slow. Because I have the effect. I am walking faster. That's as fast as I can go.
No, with your hunter speed.
I do have my hunter speed on. Yes.
Maze time has overridden it.
Yeah, probably the maze has over in it. Sweet, I did catch one of the tweens though. The tweens move very quickly, so catching one is kind of tricky. So that's why I went ahead and picked up that quest, so that way if I saw any while we were going through here, I could have a possible chance of grabbing them. Sweet, thank you, B4. There is a map on the LOTRO wiki, which is pretty good on this maze. And this maze is static. It does not change from year to year, and it doesn't change from day to day. Unlike the Wistmead maze, which doesn't change from year to year, but there's 5 different mazes, and it changes each day to the next one. So it goes through kind of a cycle. But yeah. The chickens and the elves and the tweens move around. Now, the elves move around, so there's missing elves, you have to go find them. And they move around within a certain range. So they'll always be in like there's one of them that doesn't move at all. She's always in this dead end spot. The chickens can be anywhere. The mugs also can be anywhere. Missing, I totally knew where I was. Yeah, I think that's what she says. The elves are funny. I don't think I want to do that one right now, though. Okay, but we've picked up his thing. We found the keg. Hey, buddy. Hi, do I know you? To the roar buller Bandabros and his fine, fine brew. Hooray! All right, I'm going to go ahead and take the in-league Sinister keg because I don't have one yet on this server. Sweet. So now I've got a housing item. That's pretty cool. I love the housing items. They're fun. Okay, I think, do you want to go stomp some shrews?
I do want to go some.
All right, so what's our best way to get there? What do I have?
Oh, we have milestones. Did you look?
I do not.
What?
We overrid that road. We used to have milestones to do them, but we overrode those with all of our Moria happenings.
Free time.
Yeah, okay. I'll just take us to Bree. That's fine. I mean, we're right there, but you know, this is almost faster than riding over to the horse, which is kind of funny. By the way, there's a horse to this festival ground, the Bree Festival grounds, over by the Prancing Pony, which I didn't realize for a while, and then I hit it once in a while by mistake. But if you are at the Prancing Pony and you really just want to get to the Breetown front gate, the west gate here, take that, and then you're right by the festival grounds horse, and then you take the festival grounds horse and you end up right here. So it's kind of a little funny shortcut. All right, we're gonna go to Calendum, which is nice swift travel. Yay. All right, so we have about 20 minutes left here on the stream. So if there are any questions, now's a good time to start bringing those in. Oh, I just saw in World Chat, somebody says they logged out and logged back in. The festival instant stuff did come up. Okay, so that's good to know. Let's see. Oh, and then, yeah, I'll just take we're going up to Dylan. So, festival stuff. So Spring Festival, there's the main location of it is in the Breeland Festival grounds, as you saw. And that has the delivering drinks and all that stuff. Oh, and then inside Breetown itself, you may have noticed there were some flowers there. So inside Bree itself, there is a quest where a guy is a courting we shall go. He has a flower, he wants to give some flowers to a lady, and there's all sorts of silly hijinks that happen because he doesn't tell her, but he's too shy. And then she's interested in him, but she doesn't tell him because she's too shy. So you become an intermediary and you help him out. Once you've finished that cute little storyline, it opens up a quest where you can go and pick flowers every day because he's like, hey, maybe I can help other people who are too shy, like give flowers to their, the person they're interested in, kind of thing. So can you go get flowers for me to give away to people? So you go and collect flowers, and that's what those flowers were that we just rode by. And the flowers are in 3 different locations. One of them is there in Kellendam. You know what? I kind of want to set a milestone here. Let's see, which one am I going to overwrite? You're going to overwrite Nandurin? Okay, fair enough. We've started to go into Lothlorien area, so... but we're still going in and out of Moria, and oh my gosh, having Moria milestones is really useful because we have our 5-minute cooldown thing, and that is really useful.
I love the milestones.
Yeah, the milestone, just go. So good. Okay, so we're gonna go into this little cavern here and do the shrew stomping. So shrew stomping is here, and there's a handful of quests also in this festival garden. The flowers quest, you pick it up in Brew, and then you, hang on a second. There's flowers outside of Brew Town. There's flowers outside of Mickledelving, and then there's flowers down there by Kellendam. And the 3 different locations, each one has a primary flower that is different, that is there. Now you can still get the other 2 flowers, but you're primarily going to get one of those things. And you need a certain amount of each to buy for trading for the barter guy. Oh, pesky shrews time has started. Okay, so you'll notice that there was a leisurely gardener here with the ring over her head, but I was too slow. That's okay. And so when you are new to the festival and you are new to the shrew stomping, you have to do this in order to, and then you can unlock the different levels of shrew stomping. Yes, there are levels of shrew stomping. Not just anybody can stomp shrews, let me tell you. So first you start with the leisurely gardener, and she will send us in, and I'll read her quest in a minute. Then we will get sent to the practiced gardener, who will send us in to basically do the same thing, but we have a time limit. And then we will talk to the elite gardener, and she will send us in to do pretty much the same thing with a time limit, but then also we're going to plant seeds as well. So it will be double tasking because we'll need to stomp some shrews, those pesky, pesky shrews out there, and plant seedlings out there to make sure that, the pretty flowers grow. Now, what else is going on in here? We've got a couple of other people. We've got a worried gardener, and she's worried that there's not enough supplies, and so she sends you on a supply run. We have the annoyed gardener, who thinks this is all a lot of ridiculousness, and hey, can you just go get some flowers and put them in these vases, because gosh, that will just make everything better. Sometimes I don't understand elves. And then there's a know-it-all Hobbit, and he is part of a quest called How the Shire Shoes Shrews. And basically he is like, we know better. And so between him and I think the leisurely gardener, he's like, we know how to do this better. And she's like, no, you don't. And he's like, yeah, we do. And then you go to the Shire to talk to people about it. You talk to like somebody at the Cottons about how do they get rid of shrews in their garden. You talk to the gaffer and somebody else and basically get some advice from some hobbits on how they keep shrews out of their garden. So one other thing that's happening in here is there is a giant shrew that will show up at some point during the time. We figured it out that there's like a time increment that it happens within or something, right? Like we were testing this last year. And I forget we forget the exact details, but it was something like it's like after the 3rd or 2nd wave or time, eventually it will pop up. And if you are the first one to go and stomp that shrew, then you get a special present from this guy over here, the infuriated gardener. Now you have to pick up his quest first, though. I mean, he won't talk to you if you haven't gotten the quest from him. Oh, you've got your shrew-related title active, Burrower. Excellent. All right, I see the shrews have stopped moving out there, which says to me that we should be having a thing starting here soon. Oh, yeah, nice. We have a fellow Dutch person here, I believe. Yes. We will wave. Hello. Awesome. Oh, did I actually wave or did I just stand here and pretend to wave? Oh, right. We can't wave in here. This is serious business. Shrew stomping. Shrew stomping. Serious business. I may have had too much of the keg. There we go. I'll just say hello. All right, so, soon we shall do our best to drive off the shrews once more. They are likely to return in great numbers. So when you're shrew stomping, I think it's anybody or just that guy, you might get a giant, there's 4 different kinds of shrew cosmetic pets. And you can get them during the festival. So, the giant shrew you can get in here as a drop, but I forget if it's from him or the other lady or possibly both. There's, I think, the spotted shrew, maybe, you might find when you're picking flowers in that flower quest from the guy from Brew. And the other 2, I think, are drops, possibly in here, because I thought you could get them all through drops, perhaps. If not, you can buy them also for festival tokens, the flowers, the leaves. So, okay, so we were talking about what things are going on. So there's the dances. So there's the 4 different dances, so you can learn those dances if you don't know them already. And those are active, so, you know, you'd go to Eredluin, north, south, and the Brew Festival grounds and the party tree. Let's see, is there anything else going on at the party tree? Remember, Vibro Jedi's Guide is fantastic for this. So yeah, if you are like trying to remember where to go and what to do, Vibro Jedi, his guide is fantastic. And he might actually have it updated by now because there's only, as far as I believe, and he mentions that there's only 3 new things for this festival. There's 2 flooring items and 1 cosmetic pet, I believe, are the new items. So so if you have gotten everything previously, you don't have a lot to worry about this time. Yeah. Okay, our quest is up. So the leisurely gardener says, I am very glad you are here. These shrews are driving us absolutely mad and we have just about given up. We expect that many people will come to see the garden, and if we work together, I think we'll be able to stop these shrews from continuing to misbehave. You should enter the garden and wait for the fight to begin. I am a leisurely gardener myself, and my expectations are not high. All I ask is you defeat many shrews. I don't care how long it takes. Okay, so we need to then go to this crate of boots and take out some shrew stomping boots because our regular feet won't do it. Okay, so we have our into our inventory. Now I have some shoe stomping boots. So I'm going to put those on my bar here in a minute. Now I also want to talk to this guy. He's the infuriated gardener, and he is the enormous shrews quest. He says, I do not see him now. I think I just saw him. He drives me mad. He is the bane of elves, such an enormous shrew. I have no love for him. Perhaps you can defeat him. He is furiously evasive and only appears once in a long while. Only 1 hero can drive him off in each round. How he drives me mad, mad! He will appear soon in that garden down below. If you can defeat him, I will give you the most generous reward of all. What do you say to that? Okay, so then he has a separate crate of boots, and so you have to get your other boots, your crate of enormous. You have to get your enormous boots from this crate. So now you'll notice I have 2 different kinds of boots here, and those are basically an emote, an action. So I am going to turn off my bar lock, and I'm going to stick these down here. Let's see, I have to figure out which numbers I want them on. Oh, and luckily there's also a person over here, the announcer. 1 minute remains until the game begins. Okay, so now I've got my shoes here, although I think I might, yeah, I'll probably just click it. It's cool, it's cool. Okay, so there we are. So I need to hit the boots of quite imaginable power. These boots are made for stomping, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, their boots are going to stomp all over shrews. Boom, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum. All right, and then the other one are the enormous boots. And you say these boots are made for stomping, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are going to stomp all over shrews. Okay, so, but you only use the enormous boots on the giant shrew, and you use the other boots on the regular shrews. Okay, the game will begin in 10 seconds. Get ready. You may begin. So what you'll do is you'll get near a shrew, and you're going to click on the shrew stomper. Oops, you have to actually click on the shrew. My bad. And you notice how I kind of did like a little boot emote, a little kicking emote. So it's on whatever shrew you have highlighted, it can do. But you have to be next to it, and you'll notice that they run around a bit. And your boots have a cooldown period. Now you also have the boots on your in the quest as well, but sometimes I find it easier just to have them on my bar and to do it that way. Oh, there's the shrew over here. Boom, I got him. So I need to do 10, and I have done 4, but I have the entirety of, I don't know, time and space perhaps to do it. The cool thing is when you just click on the thing, it will click on whoever's the shrew that's closest to you at that moment. Problem is the shrews do run around. So you've got that. Okay, but I just need 2 more. Now you'll notice also that there were a bunch of them, and then of course we all booted them. So there were none, but then after a moment they come back. We get more shrews. So you don't have to worry about not having enough shrews. There'll be enough shrews. Okay, I've got my 10. So now I'm waiting to see if the big guy comes out. See if I have a chance of getting him. One of the things I like about this festival is that I usually play I play in Europe, first of all. So I'm usually on when a lot of people in the US are still like asleep or at work or whatnot. So I can sometimes come in the garden when it's really quiet, and I can get the giant shrew myself because nobody else is in here. I don't have to fight for it, which is kind of cool. So notice the shrews are still wandering around. Okay, here we go. Here he is. So there's the big guy. Oh, and it looks like Larger got him first. That's okay. So now it'll go, and yeah, it says another hero has defeated the enormous shrew this round. Failed, stomp a shrew, an enormous shrew. But that's okay. It's okay that I failed it. There's no damage done. Okay, so Leisurely Gardener, she says, well done. It is a start. A new game will begin shortly. I do hope you will participate in the next one as well. And she's going to give me a spring leaf, which, of course, my toolkit means 2, so that's nice. Bum, ba, ba, bum, 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 bum. So now we just wait for the next round, and then the next round I'm going to talk to the practiced gardener. And this is going to start, yes, some deeds. So spring is dandy. This is a deed where you need to do it's kind of like your smorgasbord deed. So complete the Spring Festival run in the Shire. Complete the Spring Festival run in Brew. Oh, that might be the horse racing. Yeah, it's probably the horse race. Complete Bullroarer's challenge advanced at the Feast of the Greenfields. Oh yeah, so in the Shire, up in the really far, up in the north area. I always forget the name of it. Hang on a second. Let me pull up Eriador Shire. Up in like Brockenborings, up in the Greenfields, north of Brockenborings. So in the north of Scary, like that area. There's a fence that you do like a fence running thing. There's a challenge you can do. There's a Hobbit there you can talk to. And I have not been good at fence running until recently. I've gotten much better recently at fence running. So thing is though, you take a drink and then all the effects come on and you have to run the fence, and then there's gaps and you have to jump and make it on to the next one. So it's a little challenging. But yeah, so that is one of the things you have to complete in order to get this deed completed. And a handful of other things you got to do. So that awards you a title Spring Dandy if you can manage to finish that. But this also started the Shrewd Gardener, which is defeat shrews at the festival garden at Dooland. So once you do 160 shrews, I've done 10. So 160, that's 16 times. So if I just do this 16 times, then I will have finished that. So yes, and so, okay, so now we have done 8 festival activities already. So we just need 2 more. And so sometimes I'll do that. I'll just get the wrapper, come here, do 10 of these while I'm doing other things, you know, come here, do the thing while I'm waiting, go eat something or put dishes away or whatever, and then come back. So this is a nice, relaxing kind of chill thing where you can get festival done while you're also trying to get other things done. In League and Ale Association do not count for festival quests or festival activities for that wrapper, but they are a great way to get in League and Ale Association reputation, and also you get their badges. And you can trade in those badges for boxes of festival tokens. And it's a grab bag of festival tokens. So you get to choose one of the items. So you can choose, oh, do I want Spring Festival tokens, or do I want Anniversary Festival tokens, or whatever. So that is a great way to get more festival tokens. And it doesn't take very long. So for example, in the chat, there's a link there. Thank you before. We put together a video of how to do the delivery quest, and it's a combined for both the In-League and the Ale Association, and you can get it all done in 25 minutes, maybe even less. Sometimes we were a little chatty. So I think we've done it in 22 minutes for sure. So anyway, so yes, so you can do all 22 quests, and this is with a hunter, that version that we did. Anyway, there's a link to the video. So check that out if that's something that is of interest to you. And then there's also an accompanying blog post which lists it all out and gives you some more words if you have more questions and things like that. Okay, so now we're going to do the practice gardener. He says, this is no time for leisure. It is imperative that the shrews be defeated quickly. If you cannot best shrews in the time allotted, I do not think you have the skill needed to help us with this effort. These pesky shrews are ruining the Ethulworth. And Meglabel is asking you to stroll through as though nothing is wrong. I am asking you to step up now and show your true valor. The game will begin down in the garden below. Wait there and then defeat the pesky shrews as quickly as you can. Okay, so I have picked it up from him. And again, I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to pick up from boots out of the boot box. And I pulled up my inventory there because if I have that open, it automatically refills it into the spot on my bar. All right, and again, I'm going to take his quest to get the big shrew. Never know, could get lucky. And we're going to pick up those giant boots, and boom, they should be on my bar. So then I don't have to drag them down to my bar again. They're already there. So that's kind of a little trick that I started doing, I don't know, some point last year maybe. Makes that go a little easier for me. So excellent guide. Thank you, Just Right. Yeah, I like sharing knowledge. So I'm really glad that people are finding it useful. So yay! Yes, so our next challenge, we might do this for another, we probably won't get a video out yet because we need to get some other bicycle videos out. But this will be sometime in the future, is to do one that is a route if you don't have a hunter and you don't have a bunch of milestones, like what are some different variations you can do? I know at one point somebody showed me a route that they do where they I think go back to their premium house a lot and use the travel skill from the premium housing stable master, the neighborhood stable master, and use that as a way to get around. You can also, so there's just various ways and using the stable masters to get around and things like that. So it's definitely a different route that you take, but you can still do it in less than half an hour as well. So at some point, yes. Oh yeah, the ultimate challenge, personal housing. You only have one milestone. You have the reputation travel skills, and everything still has a 1 hour cooldown. Good luck, go. All right, let's hit some shrews. The time has begun. All right, so I've done 2 shrews. There's 3. So, and again, notice that, the garden got a little empty of shrews for a moment, but that's okay. We just wait and they come back. There's one. Convenient. Oh, here's another one. Now, if I were to leave the garden by mistake, like, running out or something, I do fail the quest. So you want to make sure that you don't go a-wandering for some random reason. All right. Okay, so we're coming down to like the last minute here or so of the stream. So I'm going to finish this on stream. But if you have any other questions, thoughts, comments, definitely drop it in there. I will be on, I'll continue to just do Eastern US time, so server times, for my streams. So for those of you who are in Europe, hello, I'm here an hour earlier. With or without pre-stacking. Pre-stacking what, like grabbing the drinks ahead of time? Oh, I can't imagine not getting them ahead of time, but I suppose you could not get them ahead of time. That's another addition to the challenge. Yeah, right? Like, Aphoto went around and grabbed stacks of like 50 to split between us, but still. Yeah. So you'll see like that person is planting some stuff. You see they had a little induction bar going there. So that is the third level of the shrew stomping. We'll probably do some of that on screen next week. Also next week, we will definitely do the festival instances because I do enjoy showing those off to people. That's fun. Did I get it? Did I get it? Oh, did he run off? Whoa, I ran the wrong way. Oh, somebody got him. Okay. Another hero has defeated the enormous shrew this round. Unsurprising. My hand coordination skills are not always tippy-top. But he says, well done, you have done work here just as I asked. I've taken a liking to you, I hope to see you again in the future, for I believe there will always be gardening work to be done here. And he will give us 2 spring leaves. So yay for that. And then the elite gardener gives, I believe it's 3 or a box. She gives you a box also. No riding would increase the level. That's an interesting point, right? Like, what if you're only like a level 20 or something? The ultimate challenge, no pre-stacking, no more than 2 ports, no run speed, no riding. You just walk everywhere. One does not walk to do the in-league and L association. Oh, we could raid Green-Eyed Gamer if she's on. Can you do a check on that? Can you check and see if Green-Eyed Gamer is streaming? We could go raid her if she is. Okay, so we're gonna call it here pretty soon. I will be on next Thursday as usual here at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Oh, and let's see, if you ever want to know who all is on the schedule and when they are streaming, you can see there, I just put a link out there and it's got our social media links. So a lot of people will like tweet, for example, before they go live. So that way you kind of get a little heads up and be like, oh yeah, that's right, I want to go watch them. Now, I think our Friday schedule is changing a little bit. I think Cord might not be doing Court of the Rings anymore. He did talk about this last week on his stream that he's considering not doing that stream anymore. And so it's possible that Court of the Rings will not be happening anymore and that might be transitioning to something else. We'll see. So tomorrow, just roll with whatever happens. But definitely, I think Corey is on tomorrow, which is awesome. I love his show. And then Druid's Fire is on after him, and she's always fun. And then, of course, there's Green Dragon Friday that I go to on Laurelin on Fridays. That's fun too. Okay, so yeah. So Spring Festival is happening. So as we know, as we talked about, so Spring Festival is happening. Make sure you go to the Breeland Festival grounds to pick up the wrapper and then go and do your 10 quests and go back and turn that in afterwards. And then you're going to get your Spring Festival leaves and be able to start buying all the goodies. Okay, well, I think we are going to wrap it up here. So thank you all for coming along. I really appreciate you all being here and enjoying Middle Earth with me. I know a lot of you really enjoy running around in Middle Earth as well. And so I love that we can share this experience together. All right, so I will see you all next week for more festival fun. And as I always say, remember to, wherever you go and whatever you do, to stay connected to that Hobbit side and hopeful Hobbit side of your heart. All right, thanks everybody. Bye-bye.